The other day, I was geoguessing and I found myself on this road here in between Queenstown and this town that I'd never heard of before called Arrowtown. And the road was beautiful and it just made me want to explore the area. And in doing so, I found this town and I just really want to explore it with you guys because I think it's really cool and there's, I think, a lot to it. So come on, explore with me. Come on, let's go. I'll stop doing that. All right, so let's start driving north into the town here. As you can see, beautiful mountains here. We're obviously in the southern hemisphere and it's in August. So we're here in winter, although now it just changed. And now we're back. Okay, so getting into town here now. It looks really cool. Lots of these really cool old buildings, really cool to see. It looks like a very unique place. Definitely got some old history here. Yeah, and immediately we're stumbling upon a museum here. So we've got some cool history. And man, yeah, the architecture here is so cool. This looks like kind of like old Western America type vibes, like something that you'd see in like a cowboy movie. Like this is really cool. Yeah, so I'm thinking that this street here is the main drag, the main kind of tourist destination. Um, the Gold Nugget. So I'm guessing based off of the age of like the buildings here, this was kind of maybe a mining town. Yes, it is. Arrowtown, New Zealand is a beautifully preserved historic gold mining settlement nestled on the banks of the Arrow River, just a 20-minute drive from Queenstown. So it was indeed a mining settlement. So yeah, as you can see, it looks like a pretty small town here. I'm guessing the population isn't too high. Yeah, it's a dinky little town, 2,860 as of mid-2025. But looking around here on Apple Maps, looks like there's a bunch of golf around. This looks like 18 holes. This looks like an 18-hole course, and this looks like another 18-hole course. So you got 3 big golf courses here. That's pretty cool. And it looks like it's right at the base of the river going into the mountains. And that brings me to Cardrona, which I've actually heard of this before because I'm a big snowboarding geek. So I've actually heard of this Cardrona before, and I think, yeah, so the Cardrona's up here, and then Coronet is up here as well. And I believe this is also a ski resort. And yes, it is a ski resort. So you've got 2 skiing locations pretty dang close by here. And then you've also got 3 like nice sized golf courses. So that's just a really cool, very outdoorsy type of place. A couple of the things I definitely wanted to see here. Number 1 was this Arrowtown Chinese settlement. So let's drop in and see if we can see anything here. Okay, yeah, it looks a little interesting, but I don't know how much of this I'm going to get out of Street View. Apparently, shout out Enoch Gilbert for getting us inside this house to look around. Thank you, Enoch. And yeah, so New Zealand had a gold rush, and then after that gold rush kind of faded away, New Zealand invited Chinese immigrants to come over here and do some work in continuing the mining operations. And they weren't completely like accepted in the main town, so they had to kind of separate themselves from the main part of the town here, and they made this area, which is now, I guess, known as the Chinese settlement. And so it's pretty cool. These are very old historic buildings that the Chinese built in order to live and work out here. And so, yeah, now, according to this census from 2023, approximately only 18 residents of Chinese descent live here. But that's still pretty cool that this town has such ties to China, even though it's like in the middle of the mountains in New Zealand. It's just a cool tie-in. And so now I'm just driving around a little bit more here. And yeah, this town is just, it's in such a beautiful place. Just look around. Wow. And for some GeoGuessr knowledge, we've got possum guards on these poles down here. So down here in the far south of New Zealand, we definitely have possums, and must be a problem. It must be a big enough problem where they have to put possum guards on like all of these towers, all of these little power poles. It looks like up here north of the main town, there's a couple places where people have grabbed some nice photospheres of the town. You can like really get a sense of how small this town is and how nestled up against the mountains it is, right before it turns into this vast wilderness of these southern Alps. So cool. Okay, now back on this main touristy looking road, it looks like they've got a movie theater in here. And no way. Look at this. You follow those signs to the cinema and you find Dorothy Brown's Cinema Bar and Bookstore. And look at how small this thing is. It's so small, but it's so cute. This is such a cool place, man. I love this place. And just look at the vibes. This is awesome. Okay, I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 21 seats here. I wonder how much a ticket goes for. So I went to their website and it looks like they're showing the Odyssey today at 4 p.m. An adult ticket is $23. Okay, okay. When you only have that many seats, I feel like that's a very, very reasonable price. That's pretty cool. And it looks like the people absolutely love it too. A 4.8 out of 5 with 302 reviews. That's pretty darn good. So that's really cool. All right, so I'm going very slowly through this town, but it's because it's super cool. New Orleans Hotel, check this place out. Okay, so it is a 3-star hotel. Okay, yeah, it just looks like a pretty unique little small hotel here in like the heart of the town, which is really cool. But then look at this food. Oh my days. Oh my days. Oh, that pizza. Oh, I don't even know what that is, but give me that. Give me that. Okay, so I did some boop-de-boop-boop research, and this is just a little bit of the history of the town. So in 1862, there was a Maori shearer named Jack Tewa who discovered gold in the Arrow River here. William Fox and a small crew then began secretly working the river, and the settlement was initially known simply as Foxes. Later, prospectors trying to locate the hidden diggings spoke of seeking the fox, but the secret didn't hold. Within a year, some 1,500 miners were camped along the river, and at its peak, the town held around 7,000 people. The first gold shipment outweighed 12,000 ounces, or 340 kilograms. By 1865, the accessible gold was running out, and European miners left for the newer West Coast fields. To keep the economy alive, Otago's provincial government invited Chinese miners to rework the abandoned claims. They sustained the district for decades while being kept in a segregated settlement on Bush Creek at the edge of town. What followed was the usual fate of a gold town: slow decline, 7,000 people down to a few hundred. But this poverty had an accidental side effect. Since no one could afford to tear down and rebuild, the 1860s streetscape survived intact. So when tourism arrived in the late 20th century, the thing that had made Arrowtown become poor became the thing that made it valuable. Today, fewer than 3,000 people live in one of the best preserved gold rush towns anywhere in the world. So, as you can see, there's this big mountain here. Mountain, I don't know, maybe hill. It's a large hill, kind of separating these two parts of the town, like the main part and then this part over here. And I was driving between them, and then I kind of saw over here this. And I wanted to see what this was because it looks important. So it turns out this is the Arrowtown War Memorial Park. And in this picture, it looks like we've got the New Zealand flag along with the Australian flag here. So definitely want to check this out, but also look at how beautiful this place is in the fall. I mean, that is just so cool. When you Google it, it doesn't seem like there's really much about it. So let's dive deeper. The My Guide Queenstown just says that it's in memory of those who gave their lives for king and country. So fair enough. It also says that there's free parking nearby. All right, as a big golf guy, I have to check out the golf here. And it looks like this one, just based off of the way that it's spread out, is going to be the nicest. Yeah, this one's called The Hills. Look at these views, man. Oh my goodness. What is... Okay, I don't know what that is. We're going to have to dive into that. Yeah, it looks like this is going to be the nicest golf course of the three here. It actually has good reviews, which for a golf course can be very, very difficult. So those sculptures are a part of an installation called The Wolves Are Coming by this artist, Liu Ruang. And apparently there's 110 life size of these cast iron wolves. It says the installation is a contemporary commentary on human nature, power, and nature fighting back against overreach. Okay, I keep getting caught up on food, but I think this brings up an interesting point because, being over here in this part of the world, the Far East, we've got lots of different types of food here. I was just looking at this Japanese place, Sake and Tapas. Japanese tapas, interesting, sounds good. Got Mantra restaurant, which is Indian. You've got Thai. You just got a little bit of everything. There's an Italian and a bakery. Like the food scene here seems very diverse, which is really cool. Okay, lastly, the last thing I really wanted to mention here was there are like no chains in this town. It's all like local businesses, which I think is pretty cool. But yeah, I had a really good time exploring this town. If there's anyone watching, make sure to like. um, if you have any ideas on how to make this better or anything at all, feel free to comment. And yeah, thank you very much. Bye bye.